What's going on, everybody? Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe to this page. That helps us out. Thank you very much in advance. Today, I want to talk about relationship. I'm sorry. I want to talk about relationship awareness. Okay. Is your partner pulling you in your relationship, or are you guys walking together holding hands? There is a difference. You can take two sets of couples and see them holding hands. And if you don't pay close attention, you don't know who is being dragged and you don't know who is going along with the program. Every relationship needs a program. This is what we're doing, this is where we're going. But when you're dragging somebody in a relationship, some of the drags can look hostile. Okay, we know about those. But some of them can be very subtle. Just a second. Some of those things can be very subtle. It can look like somebody is walking with you, but unbeknownst to the eye, there is a firm grip on your dragged partner, and they are walking in the same direction with you, but not by will, but by inconspicuous force. You're trying to make, and fellas, it's your program. I don't care what society says. I don't care how much there's been evolving or whatever the case may be of the modernized woman. At the end of the day, men, you control access to relationships. And so if you control access to relationships, ultimately and inevitably, it's your program. If you are with a woman and it's not your program, I'm not saying that that can't work. But number one, it's an anomaly. And number two, it's not natural order and design. But all women can't follow men because all men aren't worthy of being followed. Now, what I say to women who are in that situation, stop following a man if you don't believe in where he's going or you don't think he knows where he's going. But by the same token, you can't not believe in a man and where he's going and then stay with him because there's some perks and benefits that you enjoy, tangibly or intangibly. Women are complicated. There are so many different layers to women. They're a moving goalpost. Their emotions run high, they run low, and it's just one of those types of things where women are notoriously known as being complicated creatures. Meanwhile, men are very simple. So, ladies, I don't understand how you can be with a man, know and not know what's going on or what's going wrong in your relationship with him. I'm gonna break it down into the most simplistic form. Okay, uh, there is a scripture that I like in the Bible that it says, um, there's really two commandments: love God and love your neighbor. Right, and that's where all the other commandments hang their hats up on. Right, that's where they hang from. Well, ladies, if you ever want to know what's going on with your man, why if he's not a communicator, okay? Now, I'm a communicator. So I think sometimes when you deal with a man who's a communicator, he handicaps things for you. So he makes it distinctively clear what's going on. And you guys, some do, some don't, appreciate that clear cut communication. But at some point, if the only kind of communication that you have in your relationship is verbal, you're in trouble. You have to be multilingual in your relationship when it comes to communication because the the dictionary doesn't have enough adjectives to describe what a person is feeling 100% of the time. Sometimes it goes deeper than words. And when I say multilingual, I don't mean speaking different languages verbally. I mean speaking and communicating with each other in other ways, like with your body language. Okay? That's a language that you have to be able to speak of your partner. Okay? It is the best communication form to receive, to identify with a man, because a woman is always moving the goalpost when it comes to her feelings, her thoughts, and her positions. Paying attention to her body language can really, really narrow down when something's right or wrong at minimum. But for men, I'm gonna tell you, ladies, there are three areas. There's three main areas that if you don't know what's going on with your communicating or non-communicating husband, three areas that you can check off on the evaluation to get things back on track or to figure out what's wrong. Three areas. Three areas. Number one. Number one, and this is in no particular order. Number one, is he fed? If you feed a man the things that he needs, see, anybody can go out there and order pizza. Anybody can go out there and eat out. But a wife is a man's doctor. That's one of her roles, to be his doctor, to take care of him. This is why most men look for the characteristics in his wife that his mother has. Whether the mother's good or whether the mother's bad, there are some qualities about that mother that he likes and he's looking for in that woman. So is he fed? Are you feeding him? Are you giving him the nutrients that he needs? Are you giving him the things that he's supposed to have? And a lot of you thinking about, oh, it's just food. No, I mean, what are you feeding him mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally? What are you feeding him? And is that man leaving the home every day to do what he's got to do with a full stomach or not? How could you, as a wife, let your man leave your presence and their stomachs are empty? They don't have what they need. I mean that physically and metaphorically. How can you allow a man to leave your home, out of your presence, and you haven't equipped him with the things that he needs to be the best version of himself, for himself, and for his family? I was tired. I just didn't feel like it. I had other things going on. I had other things to do. No, your number one priority when you are married is your husband. I hate to tell you, but that's what it is. Your husband is numeral uno. There is nobody on this earth that comes before your husband. And even for you spiritual people or religious people, the Most High understands that when you get married, there is going to be time that needs to be dedicated to your spouse. There is an exception. If you go back and scripturally look, okay, when they start talking about different types of marriages, monogamy or polygyny or things of that nature, it was fine for the common man to do polygyny. But high priest, people who had high ranking and official positions in kingdom work, they couldn't have more than one wife. And the wife had to understand that a lot would be asked of that high ranking official or high priest in the kingdom. Not to compare, but do you think about basketball or football, a sport where you're on the road half the time, you're traveling, you're away from your family. It takes a special kind of wife to be with a man that she can't see as much as she wants to see. Understanding. A military wife, when a man gets deployed, and he has to do tours, and he's away from his family for months and months at a time, sometimes years. Guess what? A wife can't go into that situation and lack comprehension of what that's going to be like. She has to know and accept that. So, are you letting your man leave your home? Are you letting your man leave your presence without making sure that they are fed everything they need, from the foods, the right foods, that's going to give him energy and not sap him of energy? You can control that. Hey, but I don't want to eat this. This is going to be good for you. Just please try it. Okay. Spiritually, are you speaking over him when he's conscious, when he's unconscious? Are you speaking over him? Are you speaking things into existence over him? Words are spells. And every time, that's why there is life and death in the power of the tongue, because everything that comes out of our mouths are spells. And we're casting them conscientiously and subconsciously. That's why you got to be careful what you say, what you speak, especially when you speak over him. You got to be very careful with what you say. Are you feeding him and giving and filling up his belly, filling up his spirit, filling up his mind, filling up his soul? Are you doing the things necessary? That's number one. Number two, are you following him? Remember, from a program standpoint, in order for it to work, you guys got to be on the same page and you got to be on the same program. So are you following what he's saying, or are you giving attitude? Does he have to tell you what he needs? Because oftentimes that is not the way to communicate when it comes to the program. The best and the most effective form of communication in a program is buy in and tune in. If I'm in the heart of battle, if I'm dealing with the elements of the world, which I am every day, and you ask me, what can I do to help you? I may not know what to say. I got too many things I'm dealing with. Too many things that I'm dealing with. So how am I supposed to tell you what I need? And a lot of you ladies know that he don't know what he needs. But you check off the box and say, well, I asked him what he needed, and he said he didn't know or nothing. So, no. That's not how it goes. You should not be asking your partner what they need. You should be understudying your partner to figure out what they need, to figure out what's missing. Are you so out of tune with your husband, but so in tune with your personal needs? Do you not understand and know the best way to get what you need when you're in marriage is to make sure that your husband gets what he needs? Or you not want to hear that? Now, a lot of you out there are Christians or Muslims. They both have the first 5 books of the Bible, right? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. They're saying the same thing. The cousin religions. They're saying the same thing. That your desires are going to come through your husband. So what's the problem? Now, if you don't want to receive or accept that, that's fine. But it still goes back to, what is the program for you and your husband? What is the program? It's painfully obvious that Even if you don't have a religion, even if you are not spiritual people, you still have to have a program. You still have to have a foundation. You can't just make stuff up as you go. You're two individuals. You're not going to be, you're not going to last. If you and your partner are going to last, I don't care what your belief or lack thereof is, you have to have some type of foundation. You have to have some type of program that you both are plugged into. You cannot be married and have your own program and he has his own program. That is not a marriage. That is roommates. And some of you are in situations right now where you feel like your partner is just your roommate. Y'all are just living together, waiting on a mistake to justify why you should leave. You just don't have a real reason that you can put your hands around why you want to leave. You don't need to do that. If you guys don't want to be together, just don't be together. I'm not here advocating for divorce, but I'm also not here to advocate for misery. Do what makes you best. Do what helps you achieve your life goals, your purpose, but rather. Do what helps you achieve your purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, you may have to spend some time to yourself so you can figure it out between you and whatever you believe. Most women want a man who is a leader. Now, if you're in a relationship with a man and you speak rough about him and you speak in a questioning form towards his leadership, his plans, his intelligence, then it falls back on you, sis. Why are you even with him? How could you dog you? Because that's your partner. Your partner is half of you. So when you dogging your partner, you dogging you. When you throw your partner under the bus, you're throwing yourself under the bus. You just fill it back in. So but when you're in your emotional state, as I always say, you're just in the moment. You're a prisoner of the moment. So when you elect your husband, because that's what it is, an election. I thought you said men control control access to relationships. We do. But women, you have choices of who you would like to elect as your leader. Now, you do have relationships where women aren't looking for men as leaders. Those are sponsorships. If a woman is looking for anything and anyone that caters and centers around her, she's not the helpmate. She's the head. She is the shot caller. And if she wants to be in a situation to be a shot caller, this doesn't apply to her. You just have to find a man that wants to reverse the roles with you. And there are men out there like that. And I'm not going to say anything good or bad about them. They're out there. But do you want them? Do you want a man like that? Because time and time again, it shows no, you don't. I don't want a beta male. I don't want a man that I can just walk all over this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. Well, then you're confused because your words are saying you want an alpha male, but your actions show that you want a beta male. And life is about getting in alignment. And ladies, if that's you, you need to have a realignment so that you're consistent with what you say and what you're doing, what you say and what you're needing. You can't say what you want to appease the public because when you get married, your relationship is anything but public. That's private. So it doesn't matter what the public thinks about your relationship. It matters what you think about your relationship. So how do you want it to go? How do you want it to be? Who do you want to have as a man? And what comes with that type of man? Because you can't ask for an alpha male to be a rollover, a lay down, let you do whatever you want to do and have it your way. This isn't Burger King. You can't have it your way. You got to accept a alpha male for who he is, and you have to select a beta male for who he is. You want to be so bad in charge? That's fine. But you got to accept what comes with that and who comes with that. So, two, you got to follow your man. Number three, I don't want to use the F word. So I'll just say you have to F word him. Yes, men are very simple. Remember how I said men control access to relationships? Why? That's what out of the two, men and women. Women want relationships more than men want relationships. That's why it's supply and demand. So, oh, you demand a relationship. Well, I can supply that for you. On the flip side, when it comes to men and women, men desire typically intercourse more than women desire intercourse. I'm not saying women don't desire, and I'm not saying that there aren't nymphos out there. But what I'm saying is, generally speaking, men think about intercourse 20 times a day. Women think about intercourse 10 times a day. So men think about it twice as much. And if a woman isn't in her right headspace, she don't even want to be touched half the time. She has to have an environment for her most of the time to feel sexy. A man doesn't require an environment for him to want to do sex. Why? Because it's more feeling based for women than it is for men. But I can tell you this, men want it. Why? Because men, it's a stress reliever for them. One reason. If you tense and you're hurt and you go to the massage parlor and you get a massage, that feels good to you. That's what it is for a man on the surface. Yeah, it's communication. Yeah, it can be intimacy. It can be a lot of different things. But in generally speaking, for men, we look at things differently than women do. We're programmed and built differently. For men, it is to release stress and enjoy ourselves. And some women out there will deprive their men of this release. You know, some women are out there like, if it ain't important to me, it's not important. So you'll have that. You'll have a relationship where a man wants to and a woman doesn't want to. And it's a problem if he presses at wanting to. And it's okay if he ignores his feelings and say, well, I'm only going to do that when she wants to do it. That's perfect for a woman. Then a woman gets to an age where her hormones start to change and she wants to have it more frequently. Some women will tell you in the mid to late 40s that they start turning into some old demon time when it comes to that. And by that time, a lot of times, men are going in an opposite direction. And so it's a flip reverse problem. So a 20-year-old gets together with a 20-year-old. They're like rabbits. Then there comes a point where she's not as interested in it anymore, and he is just as interested or more. Then it starts to flip. He loses his interest in doing that for one reason or another, and she gains interest in doing that because of the changes that's happening in her life. She's hit her peak. Now she's frustrated because her husband doesn't want to, and she does. If you're that person that I'm talking to right now, whether you're a guy or girl, and you're in that situation, hang on to your seatbelts because it's going to change. And when it changed, I want the paradigm shift to be understood. That's why it's not about when you want to do something. It's about what your partner needs in that moment. I always say give your partner everything they need as long as it's within the confines of the program and purpose. If you only have intercourse with your partner, ladies, when you feel up to it, don't be surprised that you have problems in your relationship. Because what man is going to sign up in a relationship, in a intercourseless relationship? Why would he sign up for that? Well, it's not. It's all about the sex to you men. Well, that's what we want. Different frequencies. But aren't you supposed to know your partner's frequency? Aren't you supposed to know when your partner? You've been with your partner for years and years and years. This is what I'm talking to, the people who are seasoned in their relationship. You've been with your partner for how long now? And you don't know what time of day your partner is really, really ready to go and revved up? You have to lean in. You should want for your partner what you want for yourself. If the only way to satisfy you is to be selfish, that's the wrong. Marriage is the wrong deal. You should be satisfied from satisfying your partner. You should enjoy your partner getting what they need more than you are concerned about getting what you need. Because if your partner feels the same way and conduct themselves the same way, guess what? You both are going to get what you need. But you're going to have to work to get what you need. It's not going to fall in your lap. And some of you sign up for the job, you love the benefits, you love the pay, but you ain't interested in doing the work. How long is that going to last, ladies and gentlemen? You have to sign up to do the job. The perks and the benefits come along the way. It's like that scripture says. It says like a man wants peace. That's numero uno. So there's a scripture that says, keep your mind on him and he will keep you in perfect peace. All things added unto thee. Good measure. Pressed down. Shaken together. Running over. Men given unto your bosom. Yep, I think that's how it goes. So the focus and concentration on your desires is actually an oxymoron in comparison to what it's supposed to be. Those things that you want and desire will come to you if you are doing the things that you are supposed to do with a cheerful and glad heart. Some of you, ladies, you labor to go to bed with your husbands. I'm gonna pretend like I'm asleep. If I pretend like I'm asleep, or I have a face of discomfort, if I look like I'm irritated or something, this will help him to this would discourage him from even asking. And then if we don't have to deal with it, I just avoided a battle. You avoided a battle, but you lit a war that's coming. You may get by. My mom used to tell me all the time, you may get when you do something you ain't supposed to do, you may get by, but you won't get away. And even scripturally talks about your crookedness being visited generations after you. Why would you put your children and grandchildren through something because you were trying to get away with something? Now, whether you believe in that or not, you have to believe in karma. What you reap is what you sow. Come on, everybody knows. An atheist knows about sowing and reaping. There ain't anything that you can do to reap without sowing. How do you make a lot of money without sowing? How do you get make a lot of relationships without getting out there and meeting people? How do you get big and strong if you don't exercise? So all of those follow the law of seed time and harvest. You sow, but you reap. As painful as it is when you're sowing, it's as gainful as it'll be when you're reaping. You don't have a lot of pain when you're sowing. You don't have a lot of reaping when you're reaping. You want big reapings? You got to sow big sowings. You're going to have some pain to get some gain. Remember that song? No pain, no gain? You are not going to gain anything in your life if you're not willing to go through the pain. You're not willing to go through the pain, it's not happening. Stop it. Just stop it. You know, a friend of mine, he likes to call it the 3 F's. Feed me, freak me, follow me. So ladies, when you're sitting there and I understand a lot of times men aren't as expressive or communicative as you would like them to be, right? They're not talkative. Ask yourself this question when you feel tension in your relationship. Give yourself an honest grade in those 3 categories. How am I feeding him? How am I freaking him? And how am I following him? I can guarantee you that if you grade out well in those 3 categories, you don't have an issue to begin with. If he's already chosen you, sis, he's chosen you. He chose you because he wanted to choose you. Nobody put a gun to his head. He chose you because he wanted to choose you. But he needs those 3 things. He needs somebody to feed him. He needs somebody to freak him. And he needs somebody to follow him. You can be really good in 2 areas. And you can really lack in one area. And the whole thing comes tumbling down. It's a 3-legged stool. Take one of the legs off of a 3-legged stool. And then I dare you to go sit on that. Go sit on a 2-legged stool. And watch what happens. It's like a 3-strand cord. If I take 2 hairs and if I take two cords and I wrap them and twist it and everything like that, they're not going to stay together unless I hold it together. The energy is going to be just trying to hold it together. But if I have that 3rd cord and I braid it, the braids will hold it together. And it'll be hard to take apart. You'll need to sit down. You ever seen somebody get their braids taken out? It's coursework in taking out the braids. And the longer that they stay intertwined together, the harder it is to take it out. Same thing. You can't be good at 1 or 2 of these things if you are married. You have to be good in 3 of those things, ladies. Feed him, freak him, and follow him. And you have to initiate. That's key. Is the only time you are having intercourse with your partner, your husband, is when he come and ask you for it? When's the last time you gave him some? And if you just gave him some recently on your own, don't pat yourself on the back. Let me rephrase the question. When's the last time you've been consistently bringing it to him? Well, I can't bring it to him because I don't like him. I can't bring it to him. I can't see myself. He make me upset. He makes me mad. Okay, we'll go and address that problem. If you can't address that problem and you can't get past it, if you can't be the type of wife to do the 3 F's, then you just need to move on. You're wasting his time. You're wasting your time. Yeah, but we got kids. You should have figured that out. Y'all can still, look, y'all, I don't care if y'all stay together and one of y'all got to sleep in different rooms so y'all can be there for the kids. Y'all don't need to be together on that level. You can't bring yourself to feed him, freak him, and follow him in honor roll fashion. I'm talking about you got to be at least grading out as a B in each one of those departments. There is nothing else acceptable. C is average. Do you want to be average in feeding your husband? Following your husband? Freaking your husband? No. Because you wouldn't want anybody to be average with what you need. And we're not talking about what woman needs right now because, like I said, the list for what a woman needs is much longer than a list for what a man needs. You ever heard of a nagging husband? Sure. But when you think of a nag, who do you think of? You think of a man or a woman? You immediately think of a woman. You know why? Because a woman is more apropos to be a nagger. Now, there are women out there that aren't naggers at all. Kudos to you. But when you line up 100 women and you line up 100 men, who's going to have the most naggers? Men don't ask for anything. Men, we don't ask for anything. We hardly ask for anything. We're always saying, are you straight? You need anything? Men don't ask for, why you ain't doing it? Unless he is just at his wit's end. That is not a characteristic that is associated with men. Real men. But even a real woman can find herself nagging. And I'm not saying that a woman shouldn't complain. But if a man is a man and he understands how to be a man and he supplies the things that he's supposed to supply, she won't have a reason to nag. Unless she allowed herself to be chosen by somebody that she didn't want to be with because they had something that she wanted. Yeah, I'm talking to gold diggers. If that cat didn't have that car and that house, and that cat didn't have that bank account, you would be nowhere to be found. But you haven't run across too many men with that bank account, those cars, and that house. So you said, I'll take it. And that's fine if you want to take it. But you still have the right, you still have the role of fulfilling the job assignment, to fulfilling the role. 3 F's. Feed me, freak me, follow me. See, this is why love isn't a requirement of men. You don't have to love your man, but you got to respect him. That's love to him. That's love to him. When he's being respected, he's being loved. He feels totally loved. But that's not the way it works for women. Women is different. If she doesn't feel loved, then she feels empty. I'm not saying you can disrespect a woman, but time and time again, you see women staying in situations with men where they are disrespected, but they don't leave. They are mistreated, but they don't leave. It's crazy to me as a man, because if somebody was mistreating me, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship. But it's crazy because a woman can be mistreated. She can be verbally and physically abused in a relationship. Hear me out. She can be verbally and physically abused in a relationship. But if she's provided at a high level by him, she has money, access to resources, and the ability to have the lifestyle that she wants, that will override how she's being treated. Sure, she wants to be treated better. But you know what? If the thing she needs is covered and covered well, she'll tolerate it. And some of us have female friends, sisters, cousins, or whoever else, and we see them in this situation like this, and we wonder why they stay. Girl, why you staying? And she knows not politically correct to say, because he takes care of me financially. And he makes me, he provides me everything that I want. Do you know there are men out there that know this information in the back of their head and play it dumb? Get you, wine you, dine you, then mistreat you and get away with it. because you allow it. So if you want to check on how you're doing in your relationship, I charge you, ladies, to give yourself an honest evaluation in those three departments. Are you on your man's program, helping him to achieve the vision of his life, helping him and being his companion? Are you feeding him the things that he needs to be fed? I ain't talking about you are the queen of takeout. I ain't talking about, oh, I'm always saying something about him. No, are you intentionally feeding him and keeping his belly full, his mind full, his spirit full, and his emotions? And then third, are you freaking him? Nobody's telling you you have to do some hang from the chandelier type stuff or whatever the case may be. Don't let those images fool you. Are you making love to him? Are you reaching down and trying to make him feel the best that he can? Are you trying to help him release? Are you kissing on him? Are you giving him the things that you know he desires? Or you saying, oh, I ain't doing all that. Choice is yours. The statistics show marriage ain't working. And you know why it ain't working? It's not working because folks ain't doing what they supposed to do. Ladies, if your man ain't doing what he's supposed to do, why? Well, and you don't think he's gonna do what he's supposed to do, why are you still with him? Why don't have you told him? Have you made it clear to him what's missing? Did you give him an opportunity to fix it? Because if not, you don't have a pot to piss in or one to throw it out of. So, what are you gonna do? Yes, marriage is work. But like any work, if you enjoy the work that you do, it doesn't feel like work. So if you are laboring in your marriage, you're not enjoying it. And you have to ask yourself if you even want to be. But ladies, I'm going to tell you, if you decide you don't want to be married, you got to look far down the road, because as you get older, the more you're going to need. And it's nothing like an old woman who has nobody to take care of her. All right, that's my time. I love you guys. Hey, make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video with somebody. Somebody needs to hear this, okay? Liking the video helps. If you would be so kind to leave a comment. I prefer you to talk to me nice, but if you don't want to talk to me nice, just talk to me. It ain't gonna mean a hill of beans to me. And make sure that you subscribe to this channel, okay? Now, I'm going into a season. I do want to let you know I intend to do these things throughout the year, but the last quarter of the year is a very busy time for me, so I won't drop as many videos, but I want you to stay in tune, and I will get to that content of making that. But during the year, it's on. All right? I love you guys.